All right. Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by giving praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab. I'm back at you with another lesson. And going into this title, all right, these will be used for detainment concerning these Fifi camps. Okay. And what you have here is a picture. It says a Walmart building massive new warehouse of the future in New Jersey. All right. Now, we know that these massive camps, Salakia, these Walmarts, all right, are going to be turned into C-hip stations. Is going to be turned into Yo Jabba centers, basically. All these major stadiums that you see that are used for bread and circuses, those eventually will be closed down and they will be turned into MOTB centers and those Yo Jabba centers at the same time. All right, the reason I say that is because the fact that they're saying they're building a massive new warehouse, and if you look at the news that's going on all the time, they're actually closing down Walmarts. A lot of Walmarts are being closed down, and that's because, like I said, they will be used in the time of martial law for detainment. All right, there's this little subliminal message that they say that says in Walmart that if you take the lettering, it basically spells martial law, not fully. All right, but when you take Mart, it goes into martial. All right, and then when you take wall and you turn it backwards, it spells law. So martial law. All right, and again, most of these Walmarts are being closed down out here in America. So why would they be building new ones? All right, and you saw the picture that I just showed you. When you look at that picture, it actually looks, okay, it looks like one of those CAMPs. Okay, let me show you again. You see exactly what it looks like. All right, and those warehouses, these Walmarts, they're able to hold thousands and thousands of people. All right, imagine building a more massive new warehouse. Okay, now let me read a little bit of what it says here. All right, it says Walmart building massive new warehouse of the future in New Jersey. It says Walmart plans to close a distribution center in Pedrickstown. Workers encouraged to accept a position at new facility in Pennsylvania. A new distribution center will open in Piles Grove in 2027. All right, Lord willing, we don't even make it that close to 27. All right, and the way things are going, Lord willing, something happens this year. All right, this is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, as Apostle Tahar coined this year. All right, and that's what we pray for, Baba Ball. All right, we pray for this place to go into destruction so we can get the hell up out of here already. So it says Piles Grove. It says Walmart giveth and taketh away in Salem County with the closing of one facility, an announcement of a new one. A Walmart distribution center under construction, okay, in Piles Grove is one of 5 being built around the country as part of a plan to make its online grocery business more efficient. All right, remember the scriptures tell you never to trust your enemy. All right, we know that he is what? He is the father of lies. All right, scriptures also tell you that the wicked is estranged from the womb. Soon as they be born, they come out speaking lies. All right, so this devil's never to be trusted. All right, yeah, it's gonna sound good. It's all to make online grocery business, more efficient and more easier. All right, but we know that these devils have other plans. Okay, It says the 700 square foot warehouse will create 400 jobs and will open in 2027. It will also utilize technology that the retailer says will allow it to better serve the changing way people shop. All right. And we know that all roads lead to what? To that MOTB. Okay. That's that new technologies that's the technology that they're going to utilize. All right. To better serve the people in shopping. Okay. Remember these devils, when it comes to them bringing out this MOTB, it's always going to be used with convenience. It's always going to be advertised with much convenience. It says these high-tech DCs can store double the number of cases and process more than twice the volume of a traditional perishable DC, more than doubling the number of cases processed per hour. Dave Gugina, Walmart's executive vice president for supply chain operations, said in a statement. Then it says the modern era of retail. It says the new facility will use automation to reduce tasks like stacking cases. Workers will have the opportunity to develop skills that reflect the modern era of retail, creating new opportunities for career development and growth. All right. And this is how you know it's nonsense, because this place is shutting down. America's falling apart. All right. There is going to be no employment. All right. According to Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, the 3rd verse. All right. That the grinding of the cease, the grinders shall cease. All right. Meaning employment shall cease. All right. Scriptures also tell you that Egypt shall fail. Okay. Which I believe that's the 19th chapter in Isaiah. All right. Egypt shall fail. All right. So there will be no work in Egypt at one point. So why build? All right. Why come out with the offering of more jobs when this place is shutting down? All right. It's all psyops. It's all lies to make you believe that things are going to go back to normal or things are being made better. All right. So it says Walmart in May announced plans to close a fulfillment center in Town and move the jobs 170 miles to a newer facility in Greencastle, Pennsylvania. According to the WARN notice filed with the State Department of Labor and Workforce Development in May 27th. All right, jobs will be eliminated by September. Okay, jobs are going to be eliminated by September. Walmart is offering workers willing to make the move a $7,500 bonus, $500 bonus, and will pay relocation costs, according to ROI, New Jersey. ROI, New Jersey. Says a company spokesperson told ROI New Jersey that the company is proud of the work done in Town and hope all workers will make the move. All right. And again, I'm telling you, they're setting this up for the time of the Fifi camps. All right. Because remember, the United States is going to be broken up into 10 parts, as the scriptures speak about those 10 parts being destroyed with a great earthquake. Right. So those 10 parts that is going to be turned into is going to be locations of FEMA, basically. All right. And the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, are going to be a certain they're going to be a certain location out of those 10 parts. Okay. And Pennsylvania will be the place for them to hold people from New Jersey and New York. All right. Because Pennsylvania is more of that farm life, you know, more of that the outskirts. It's not a city life. It's not city builded. You see, so you have more farms, more open fields, and are able to basically, you know, bring in those CAMPs basically, all right, to those locations, or create, or you know, build new ones. Okay. Let me see what else, if it says anything else. Seafood page. I think that was pretty much the rest of it. Yeah. All right. So, you know, again, these these Walmarts will be turned into, all right, actual martial law FEMA camps at one point. And the fact that they're bringing out this massive one, makes me think about it can only be used for that reason. All right. And what it makes me think about, I'm going to bring out two chapters real quick, kind of follow me on it. And basically, it's almost like Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai be putting the pieces together for you, which he does through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai through these scriptures. All right. But one thing, if you remember in Ezekiel, all right, a form of prophesying that Ezekiel had did was he had molded a blueprint of what Jerusalem at that time, what they were going through at that time, which that was at the time of the Babylonian captivity. And Yahweh had him prophesying in a certain form, basically by modeling, the town at that time. Okay. And basically he was telling them what was going to happen to America through that model that he was building, showing that that Israel will be under siege at one point. You know what I'm saying? So, Shalom, Sister Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Brakatah. To make it more make sense, let me read the two chapters, and you can kind of see where I'm going with it. All right, it's almost like the Lord spiritually building those models up, with these devils, building more buildings and more toward their agenda, basically. All right. And that's the Lord giving us the warning. These things, when you see news like that, man, it should give you a warning and make you be like, damn, man, why are they building more when this place is collapsing, and it's all set up for that destruction at the end of the day. All right. So this is Ezekiel 4, and I want 4 and 5, chapters 4 and 5, and I'm gonna read them real quick. All right, and let's see what it says here. It says the siege of Jerusalem predicted, a sign of the coming siege. All right, this is KJV and NLT. I'm gonna read it from let me read it from the NLT on this side, right? So it says, and now, son of man, take a large clay brick and set it down in front of you. Then draw a map of the city of Jerusalem on it. Show the city under siege. See, to be under siege is to be what? All right, to be fenced in, all right, and encamped round about, by heathens, basically. It says, show the city under siege, build a wall around it so no one can escape. All right, and it makes me think of America. All right, here it is. They push so hard of them trying to build a wall around here, around America, to keep immigrants out, when these people really don't have the understanding that it's really built to keep you from leaving. It's to keep you trapped in this place. Okay, so something through the spirit it makes me think of. It says, show the city under siege, build a wall around it so no man can escape. Set up the enemy camp and surround the city with siege ramps and battering rams. Then take an iron griddle, Salakia, and place it between you and the city. Turn toward the city and demonstrate how harsh the siege will be against Jerusalem. You see? And we're constantly telling you how harsh this devil's going to come at us, man. The scriptures tell you that he shall be like madman, sparing none, right? You read Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, you see the mentality of this devil, of how he wants to torture us and put us to this test to see if we are of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? So, again, it says, turn toward the city and demonstrate how harsh the siege will be against Jerusalem. And when we constantly tell you about these FEMA camps that are being, brought out, that are already here, death coffins already set up for thousands upon thousands to be destroyed. All right, that's us speaking the demonstration that the Lord has put in front of our eyes, man, to be able to have the eyes out to see what time it is, man, to see that We are not in no regular normal times, man. We're in times of trouble. All right, as the scriptures say, that in those last days we shall be in what? Perilous times, which means dangerous. Okay, we living in a society where it's just full of danger now. Anything can happen at any given moment. All right, no man is safe out here. No one's safe out here. Okay, the only way you're gonna be able to walk around here safely is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, having that name, which is that strong tower that the righteous man runneth into it and is safe, right? So it says, set up the enemy camp and surround the city with siege ramps and battering rams, then take an iron girdle and place it between you and in the city. Turn toward the city and demonstrate how harsh the siege will be against Jerusalem. And when we read these different accounts that are in the Bible, man, that's also us demonstrating how harsh the siege will be against Jerusalem. You know, the time that we're about to enter is about to be worse than 70 AD, and 70 AD was one of the worst times that our people experienced, man. It says this will be a warning to the people of Israel, and that's what we do. We are watchmen, so we constantly warn the people, all right, with the things that are happening around us. The same way the prophets will write these visions with the things that were around them, all right, we give you the vision basically and explain the vision with the things that are around us that are happening, all right, that make it make sense when you put it together in its proper in its proper context, all right, when you put it in the form of prophecy, all right, because that's what the spirit of the Lord is the spirit of prophecy. Okay, so to prophesy is to tell you the destruction before it comes. All right. It says, now lie on your left side and place the sins of Israel on yourself. You are to bear, and that's what we do. You see, we give up the things of this world, you know what I'm saying, just to bear the burdens of the rest of Israel because of their knuckleheadedness, you know, because of their stiff necks. Okay. It says, you are to bear the sins for the number of days you lie there on your side. I am requiring you to bear Israel's sins for 390 days, 1 day for each year of their sin. Whew. It says, after that, turn over and lie on your right side for 40 days, 1 day for each year of Judah's sin. Okay. And you have to remember that the northern kingdom, all right, was worse because they fell off first. Okay, and the Lord was very wroth with Israel, the northern kingdom. Okay, but eventually, you know, as the scripture said, that the treacherous sister Judah came and followed after the northern kingdom. Okay, it says, meanwhile, keep staring at the siege of Jerusalem. Lie there with your arm barred, all right, or bared, Salakia, and prophesy her destruction. Okay, when we're on these highways and hedges, that's the Lord putting us in place to prophesy this place's destruction. It says, I will tie you up with ropes so you won't be able to turn from a side to side, Salakia. So you won't be able to turn from side to side until the days of your siege have been completed. Now go and get, now it says defiled bread. All right. Now this is also going to happen in this time. All right. We're already eating defiled bread amongst the Gentiles. All right. But this bread, this food that we have is going to be defiled even more. Okay. This is why you're going to have that spiritual manna to eat, because the food's going to be so defiled, man. We ain't going to want to put none of that in your mouth, none of that in your body. All right. So it says, now go and get some wheat, barley, beans, lentils, millet, and emmer wheat, and mix them together in a storage jar. Use them to make bread for yourself during the 390 days you will be lying on your side. All right. Ration this out to yourself, 8 ounces of food for each day, and eat it at set times. And when I hear this, you know, these are things that we're going to have to do, man, in the time of Jacob's trouble in the time of famine. We're gonna have to learn to ration our portion that the Lord has given us. All right. And when all runs out, all right, remembering that the true portion that we're going to receive is the spiritual manna, man. That's what's going to save you in those last days, the spiritual manna, having his word, all right, constantly eating this roll, all right, because the scripture said, let me grab that real quick in Matthew 4. This is Matthew 4 and 4. But he answered, because you had the tempter that came to tempt Yahweh Shai, and he told him to make the rocks, the stones, he turned them into bread. All right, but Yahweh Shai answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh." You see, that's that spiritual manna. We don't need the actual physical bread, man. We have Yahweh Shai, which is the true bread of life. Okay. So going back to Ezekiel, all right, 4 and 10. Ration this out to yourselves 8 ounces of food for each day and eat it at set times. Then measure out a jar of water for each day and drink it at set times. Prepare and eat this food as you would barley cakes. While all the people are watching, bake it over a fire using dried human dung as fuel, and then eat the bread. Then the Lord said, "This is how Israel will eat the foul bread in the Gentile lands, to which I will banish them." All right, and we know that our food here is complete manure. All right, complete shit. All right, nothing we're eating here is healthy for us. Nothing here is to its best potential. All right, everything here is defiled. Okay, everything here is filled with sin. So basically, these foods are still are filled with iniquity and sin. Okay, it says, then I said, "O sovereign Lord Yahweh, must I be defiled by using human dung? For I have never been defiled before. For the time I was a child until now, I have never eaten any animal that died of sickness or was killed by other animals. I have never eaten any meat forbidden by the law." All right, showing you that those dietary laws is very important. All right. All right. The Lord Yahweh said, "You may bake your bread with cow dung instead of human dung." All right, which this is all a form of humility. Okay. Then he told me, "Son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem." You see, that's coming to America, man. All right. Food is going to be very scarce out here. Ain't nobody going to have no access to the things of the food of pleasures that these people love eating, that they fill their bellies up with constantly and waste food. They don't even need half of the food that they got, but they want to waste it anyway. Meanwhile, you got people dying left and right of hunger, man. You see? So it says, then he told me, "Son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem. It will be weighed out with great care and eaten fearfully." You know, you're gonna be trying to save your food in that day. You know, and again, rationing it out to the, so you can have it last you for a period of time. Okay. And again, when all things run out and nothing is successful with actual physical food, man, this is when we're going to eat the spiritual manna, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, this word, right? It says the water will be rationed out drop by drop, and people will drink it, and the people will drink it with dismay. All right. And again, this scripture is also considered as that water. All right. Because out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Okay. When you basically eat this roll. Okay. So like it says, lacking food and water, people will look at one another in terror. All right. And that's going to be one of the main ways that they're going to put your life in a predicament. All right. They're going to put Israel in that predicament of no food and no water, because when people don't have food and water, people get naggy, man. People get hangry. All right. People going to get, they're going to bug out. Okay, and once you don't have the actual source of water, all right, that's when it's really all over for you, because you could go without eating, man. All right, water is what keeps you sustained. All right, your body's 80% water. So once you once you have no food, man, you have to go for the water, because that's what's gonna keep you alive. All right, it's not starvation that kills the people, is the dehydration that ends up killing people. And eventually you'll go into bug out mode, man. You start to see shit, you start to hallucinate, all of that. All right, and you will die off. And that's one of the worst ways to go. Scriptures tell you that in Lamentations, the 4th chapter, the 9th verse. All right, it is better to die by the sword, all right, than those stricken with hunger. Okay, it's literally is going to be better for you to die off by Esau's military, all right, or by these death angels, than to die by the actual famine, man. You talking about your stomach eating its stomach, all right. Your stomach is eating you from the inside out, all right. So it says, lacking food and water, people will look at one another in terror, all right. And this is why it's going to be survival of the fittest out here, man, and will waste away under their punishment. Okay. Now this is Ezekiel the 5th verse, starting from the top. It says, Jerusalem's desolation foretold. Okay. And thou, son of man, take thee a sharp knife, take thee a barber's razor, and cause it to pass upon thine head and upon thy beard. Then take the balances to weigh and divide the hair. Thou shalt burn with fire a third part in the city, in the midst of the city, when the days of the siege are fulfilled. And thou shalt take a third part and smite about it with a knife. And a third part thou shalt scatter in the wind, and I will draw out a sword after them. All right. And this is basically a representation of how, some are going to catch, death by the sword. Some are going to be taken out by the missiles. Some of these, taken out by famine. Okay. And at the end of the day, the ultimate judgment is going to be what? It's going to be this place to burn. All right. The thermonuclear missiles. It says, thou shalt also take therefore, okay, few in number, and bind them in thy skirts. Then take of them again and cast them into, oh, Salaki, you know what? I'm reading on the KJV side. Let me read it from the 2nd verse again. It says, place a third of it at the center of your map of Jerusalem. After acting out the siege, burn it there. Scatter another third across your map and chop it with a sword. Scatter the last third to the wind, for I will scatter my people with the sword. Keep just a bit of the hair and tie it up in your robe. Then take some of these hairs out and throw them into the fire. Burn them up. A fire will then spread from this remnant and destroy all of Israel. This is what the Lord Yahweh says. This is an illustration of what will happen to Jerusalem. I placed her at the center of the nations, but she has rebelled against my regulations and decrees, and has been more wicked, even more wicked than the surrounding nations. She has refused to obey the regulations and the decrees I gave her to follow. You see? And we give you the illustration every single day of how the Lord is going to take this place out, man, because we see the vision. We know the terror of the Lord, and that's how we persuade men to turn back. Okay? Let me read that again in the KJV. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, this is Jerusalem I have set in the midst of the nations and countries that are round about her. And she has changed my judgments into wickedness more than the nations, and my statutes more than the countries that are round about her. For they have refused my judgments and my statutes. They have not walked in them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because ye multiplied more than the nations that are round about you, and have not walked in my statutes, neither have kept my judgments, neither have done according to the judgments of the nations that are round about you. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I, even I, am against thee, and will execute judgment in the midst of thee, in the sight of the nations. You see, these nations are going to see what the Lord is really about. Because once these nations see how the Lord does his own people, yeah, they shall understand then. You see, they're going to learn to fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's why we keep telling you in those last days, these people going to learn to fear the Lord, man, when the Lord comes with his true judgment. All right. The Lord said he's not coming to meet you as a man. Okay. He coming with angelic force. And that was it. Yeah, same was for Israel. I mean, for Esau. All right. But still, man, the fact that he's not coming as a man. All right. He coming with angelic force. That's why this place is going to be through in 1 hour. All right. That's why nothing that tries to come up against Yahweh Shai in that time is not going to prevail. Okay. So it says, okay, which this is talking about Esau right here. It says, wherefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all thy detestable things. And this also could go into, Israel, because Israel has followed after the ways of the heathen, right? They're pretty much considered as heathens. Okay, they have, followed the lust of their father, which is Esau. Okay. So it says, wherefore, as long as I live, saith the Lord, wherefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all thy detestable things and with all thine abominations, therefore I will also diminish thee, neither shall mine eye spare, neither will I have pity. All right. And we know that the Lord is not coming to spare anybody, man. It tells you that in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. All right, I'll just get straight to the point. Okay. The Lord said to the angels, right? He said, and to the others said in mine hearing, go ye after, this is 9 and 5 in Ezekiel, go ye after him through the city and smite, let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity, slay utterly old, young, both maids and little children and women. Okay, see, that's how the Lord is coming, man. He's not coming with the respect of persons, man. All right, we said it many times. The Lord only has respect for his elect. Everybody else is history, man. There's no respect, no respect that the Lord is giving you. Okay, so he's telling them to slay utterly old, young, both maids, little children, and women. That's going to be the same thing today. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark. All right, that's the wah, that mark of exemption. Okay, exempt from judgment. It says, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Okay. So going back to Ezekiel 5. All right, it says, wherefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all detestable things and with all thine abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee. Neither shall mine eye spare, neither will I have any pity. A third part of these shall die with the pestilence, and with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee, and a third part shall fall by the sword round about thee. And I will scatter a third part into all the winds, and I will draw out a sword after them. All right, so this is for Esau and you 2/3 that want to follow after the ways of this society, man. All right, the Lord's he's gonna have some of you to the sword, some of you to the famine, some of you to the actual missiles. It says, thus saith Salakia, it says, thus shall mine anger be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted, and they shall know that I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken it in my zeal. Okay, and how is he going to speak it in his zeal? By the words of the prophets, man. Okay, as a matter of fact, this is Hosea. This is Hosea 6. Point is at 5. All right, but I'm gonna take it from the top. It says 6 and 1 in Hosea, come and let us return unto the Lord Yahweh, for he has torn and he will heal us. He has smitten and he will bind us up. All right, and this is the time that we're being binded up. It says after 2 days will he revive us, In the third, he will raise us up, and he shall live, and we shall live in his sight. All right, going into those 350 years, those 2 days, right? It says in the third, he will raise us up. Okay. And at the end of the day, we're being revived right now. Okay, throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. And it's crazy because spiritually it makes me think of Yahweh Shai was crucified 2 days ago, according to the scriptures, because every 1,000 years is one day to the Lord. All right. So if he was crucified over 2 days, a little over 2 days ago, that would mean that we're into that third day. You know what I'm saying? It's all spiritual, it's all through the, a spiritual mindset, you know. But continuing on, it says, after 2 days will he revive us, and the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Then shall we know, if we follow on to know the Lord Yahweh, his going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain onto the earth. O Ephraim, what shall I do unto thee? O Judah, what shall I do unto thee? For your goodness is as a morning cloud, and as the early dew it goeth away. Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. I have slain them by the words of my mouth. Okay? And thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth. You see? So through the prophets, let me go back to Ezekiel 5. All right, through the prophets is how he has spoken in his zeal. All right. All right. And this time we're speaking in the zeal of Yahweh according to knowledge. Remember, our people were lost and they have a zeal for the Lord, but not according to knowledge. Okay. So it says, moreover, I will make thee waste and a reproach among the nations that are round about thee in the sight of all that pass by. Okay, will be made mockery, right? It says, so it shall be a reproach and a taunt, an instruction and astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute judgments in thee in anger and in fury and in ferocious rebukes. I, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, have spoken it. Okay, let me read that in the NLT. It says, you will become an object of mockery and taunting and horror. You will be a warning to all the nations around you. They will see what happens when the Lord punishes a nation in anger and rebukes it, saith the Lord Yahweh. Right? It says, when I shall send upon them evil arrows of famine, which shall be before their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and I will break your staff of bread. You see, you ain't gonna have no more food out here. The famine will become more and more. All right, until every crumb of food is pretty much gone. It says, and along with and so I will send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and the pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, have spoken. All right, and that's what we're waiting for. All right, we're waiting for the Lord to bring the sword upon this place. As a matter of fact, let me grab Ezekiel. I think it's the 21st verse, 9th. Yeah, it says, son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. You see, that sore slaughter is to our people, man, and to the rest of this world. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. And he has given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. Okay, which the true slayer is going to be Yahweh Shai. All right, but it's also going to be given into the hand of Esau, man, because the Lord uses Esau as the sword. Okay, this is Psalms, I believe, is 17 and 13. Yep, it says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, Cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. You see? So the top sword being Yahushai, but you're going to have the Lord put the spirit on Esau, you know, to be that true sword. All right. Let me grab this in Ezekiel 7 and 24, straight to the point. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses, and I will make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. All right, so the Lord's going to bring the worst out in the heathen. Okay, he uses Esau as that sword. Isaiah 10 and 5. All right, oh Assyrian. Okay, and this Assyrian is being compared to Esau. All right, so it's really talking about Esau at this moment. Okay, it says Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, the staff in their hand is mine indignation. Okay, basically that blessing that they have, which is the sword. I will send him against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither does his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few. You see? So the Lord is going to send them against a hypocritical nation. We are the hypocrites. All right? We're the ones that are doing wickedness in the sight of the Lord most, because we are his chosen people, man. The Lord don't care about none of these other nations, man. All right, he cares about his nation, Israel, doing the wickedness that they're doing. You see? So, you know, that's pretty much the point. All right, this is what's coming to us. Again, you know, I use that Ezekiel, the 4th and the 5th chapter, because it kind of reminds me of how this life is being played out, how the Lord is always showing us with the eyesight we have different signs of what's to come, you know. And it reminds me of that's how the Lord is building that blueprint, you know, spiritually, and we're putting the pieces together. You see, we're telling you, all right, the Lord is setting up a new Walmart out here, man. What is this Walmart for? What does it really represent? We're not talking about Esau's representation of it, of making money and trying to make a better future. No, we're talking about what's going down through the spirit, man. For them to want to build a bigger warehouse while this place is already closing down with a bunch of Walmarts, and this place is closing down, period, should tell you a lot, man. It tells you that these things are going to be used for major detainment, man. All right, these Walmarts, these big ass stadiums that you go to watch your favorite, you know, baseball, basketball, football team, all these things are going to be used for detainment. There's 8 billion people on the earth. Okay. How many people in America? I don't know. Okay. But we know that that multitude is coming to America, man, either to be saved or to be destroyed. And the scriptures talk about how the Lord said that he's going to fill this place up with men. All right. And that's because for its destruction. Okay, so all these things are spiritually being put in front of our faces as eyesight for us to see exactly what time we're in, man. All right, so Lord willing, it made sense. Salaki if it was all over the place. All right, but I pray that it was edifying. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith and doing as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. You sisters continue to learn in silence, watching the true men of the Lord. Lord willing, we are those men. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Shalom. Shalom, brother. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Shalom, sister.